Yo, y'all know there is no royal road to science, and only those who do not dread the steep climb of its steep paths have a chance of gaining its luminous summits. You heard? Check this out. Real dogs read capital every day. I will not be a pawn, my mind will not waste away. Volume 1, Volume 2, and even Volume 3. I don't just grasp production, but also banking. Volume 1 shows exploitation in industrial factories. He told the workers, get united if you want to get free. Surplus value is extracted at the point of production. The bourgeoisie is just a vacuum doing money suction. Your wage is the labor that they actually pay you for. The rest goes to bosses who never work on the floor. This extra value's called surplus, and it's all that they desire. They impoverish the workers as they stack their money higher. Capital is dead labor that acts like a vampire. It sucks labor from the living just to stack the money higher. We read capital to grasp this fact, volumes 1, 2, and 3. It's time to join my reading group and join the ACP. Volume 2 is circulation of the product made in Volume 1. It must be sold on the market for accumulation funds. If the product isn't sold, capital won't make its money back, and the whole entire system then begins to crack. Everything is a commodity made to be bought and sold. The commodities producers care only for their gold. After goods are produced, they need to circulate, but when they don't, the system crashes just like 2000. Capital is dead labor that acts like a vampire. This sucks labor from the living just to stack the money higher. We read capital to grasp this fact, volumes 1, 2, and 3. It's time to join my reading group and join the ACP. Volume 3 is the best of all. It explains the system now. The banking system always grows. It forces all to bow. The creditors, the rentiers, they suck up surplus, right? But they produce nothing of themselves. They're purely parasites. This sets the stage for Lenin's work on finance capital, when the monopolies, the banks and such dominate in full. The system is a crazy thing. The commodities whirl and blind. The bills get to be so much we only think about our next dime. But a man named Karl Marx, he wrote this book, helps us grasp our life under this capitalist mode of production with so much pain and strife. Read it yourself to see what I mean, and then get organized. We workers have nothing to lose by change. It's time to stand and fight.
In the cornfield.
A single spark can start a fire, burning harder, rising higher. Through the fields it spreads desire. A single spark can start a prairie time. A wild rhythm, no reason, no rhyme. From a whisper to a thunderous choir. A single spark can start a prairie fire.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the show. I'm here with my brand new camera. Hopefully this one focuses better than the last one. I got some feedback from the ACP media team. They said my camera could use some work, so here we are. First episode with a new camera. It's a little expensive, but hey, it's worth it to bring you guys the best show possible. I was talking about Fedor. Fedor's decade of dominance at heavyweight will probably never be duplicated again. Yeah. Fedor Emelianenko, for those who don't know, a great Russian MMA fighter. People underestimate the fact that he did that at heavyweight, which is a division where usually champions don't hold the belt for very long because heavyweights are so big and easy to knock out, or it's easy to get knocked out. So usually heavyweights don't hold the title for very long, but Fedor held it for 10 years. And he gets he's not appreciated by the younger fans. You know, I sound like an unk. I sound like an old head when I say that, but it's really true. He's not appreciated by the younger fans who think that he just fought a bunch of cans or a bunch of people who suck, but he literally fought all of the best fighters of his era and defeated them all, many of them multiple times. Big Nog, Crow Cop, Vanderlei. I believe he beat Mark Hunt, Kevin Randleman, Matt Lindland. If there was a good heavyweight or upper weight, even light heavyweight fighter from that era, Fedor probably beat him. Salute everyone. What's up? What's up? Pride never die. You bet. Classic rock, but no classic economics. Classic economics is okay. We're just anti-neoclassical economics. We're okay with a little bit of classical economics. Glad you guys like the music. Hell yeah. Hi, Eddie. Thank you, New Soul, for the super chat. Appreciate you, brother. That is very helpful. Hold on. Let me adjust the new camera here for a second. That looks pretty good. I want to know if China's social credit system is something that has already been implemented for the ACP Constitution. Yeah, we have our own version of it. It's more of just like a play on words, right? Because China's social credit system is like, it's not like it monitors your behavior. It's not like this utilitarian machine that's like, this is good behavior. And if you do good behavior, you get good points. And if you do bad behavior that the party doesn't like, we take away points. It has to do with like business transactions and your trustworthiness in those transactions. It's kind of like a socialist version of a credit score, which is why it's called the social credit score. But yeah, we have something like that basically where you actually do get rewarded for like certain actions. Like what gets rewarded the most is doing work on the ground, right? Doing actual praxis in the real world, helping to organize your community and workplace. And then you also get points for education, for reading and answering quizzes correctly that have to do with the education part of the party. And what else does the social credit score encompass? Any kind of praxis is basically encompassed in the social credit score. And then we can use that to encourage certain kinds of actions, right? We kind of gamify it. So people are encouraged to rack up their points as high as they can. But it's not, technically based on the social credit score in China. They serve different purposes. It's just kind of a play on words because the social credit score has become such a propaganda point in the U.S. Thank you. Where's the suit, Eddie? I already took it off. I made 2 videos today for the ACP main account in the suit. And that was enough for me. I'm not a big fan of the suit. I like my wrestling clothing. I like to be dressed for comfort. But yeah, maybe I'll break out the suit for the next stream. Though it seems to be doing pretty well on TikTok. Is autofocus shifting the picture? It might be. It might be. I don't know how to stop that from happening because that was the problem with my last camera too. Neoliberal econ sucks. Yeah. Is that background picture from before you? It is me. Indeed. It is indeed. What can I read in order to be literate in theory? You got to read a lot. But start with Lenin. Start with Lenin and Engels. All right, guys, we got a good show today. I'm going to break down some of the stuff that's been going on. You have, for one, Burkina Faso passing some LGBTQ bill that leftists are now enraged about. And, every African country is one LGBTQ comment away from turning American leftists into George W. Bush, calling for regime change and to nuke them into accepting LGBTQ stuff. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. And anything else you guys want to talk about, just let me know in the chat. If there's any news stories from this week you want me to cover. Like, I don't know, maybe people want to hear about Alex Jones having a meltdown. That's kind of interesting. We could talk about that because I've been following that pretty closely. But then I also want to break down the weekend. We were at the Palestine Solidarity Conference, 2nd annual in Detroit. Got to meet first ever Palestinian UFC champion Bilal Muhammad, which was really sick. And then me and Haas just got to talk to a lot of really awesome people in general. And just for fun, we'll talk about our boy Caleb Maupin, who got kicked out of the event, allegedly. So we'll talk about all of that today, right after the actual intro.
High Sheriff Hazard is a hard man to be. High Sheriff is his only plan. He digs through pockets, takes what he can, for he's High Sheriff Hazard. He caught me one evening, and here's what he said: "You look like a Russian, you look like a red, and if you're fond of your skin and your head, beware the High Sheriff of Hazard." answer is simple, the answer is clear. We all get together, ain't got nothing to fear. We throw the old bastard right out on his ear. Farewell to High Sheriff Hazard.
All right. Let's get into it. Chinese credit system is a consumer protection after big scandal by poison formula. Yes. Yes, more specifically, that is correct and true. So whereas the American credit system is a protection for the credit card companies or the companies that loan you credit, the companies that own you money so that they can see how likely you are to pay it back, the Chinese social credit system does the opposite. It defends the people it defends the consumers from predatory practices. So everything's just inverted here. Everything works the opposite of the way that it should be. That's capitalism. Creates an upside down world where everything works on behalf of the owning class. Eddie, you should clamp down on all of this anti-China TikTok stuff. Like what? I mean, what do you mean by clamp down? Like, like I can respond to them and try to dunk on them, but like I can't control the TikTok algorithm, unfortunately. Ever since it was bought up by Oracle, that CIA company in Texas. But yeah, I can respond to some of it if you like. I haven't really been seeing it. My TikTok timeline is incredibly based, so maybe I miss out on some of the lib discourse. It also drives me crazy. Anytime I see some, liberal discourse on TikTok, I'm just like, scroll, you're an idiot. You're a dumbass. Back to the fucking guy talking about how China and the DPRK are based. But maybe I should follow more people I disagree with. But the China parade was amazing. It was amazing. They're nuking our military. All the leftists and anarchists saying China is imperialist. LOL. Yeah, welcome to TikTok. Unfortunately, I'll make some videos. Since it's good that you're letting me know that that's in the discourse right now. Because if it's harder for me to follow the TikTok discourse than it was years ago when I had more time on my hands and stuff. But yeah, if it's in the discourse, that means my videos on China are more likely to go viral. So I'll have to do a video about how China isn't imperialist soon. So this weekend we were at the Palestine Solidarity Conference in Detroit. I was there with Haz al-Din and other members of the American Communist Party. We had a really good showing. It was great to be there with some of you. And tons of people came up to me at the event and said, thank you for your work. Thank you for what you're doing. I'm a longtime follower. I've been following your TikToks forever. That was super cool to hear. It was super cool to meet people. And honestly, we got a lot of recruitment done for the party because I was able to meet people face to face and be like, oh, you like the stuff that I talk about? Well, join the American Communist Party. We're fighting for the stuff that I talk about. And ACP Michigan had little business cards ready with all this information on the party. Even if people weren't like thinking about joining, you could give them those business cards and, then they could at least learn what the party is all about. Education is key. So that was really cool. And we got to meet Bilal Muhammad, first ever Palestinian UFC champ. There was one hater there. There was one person we ran into who was a hater. And it was a girl with a mullet. Okay, looked to be about 80 to 100 pounds. And I'm assuming she wants to be called she. I don't know. Sorry for assuming your gender. She was wearing fishnet. And she saw us. And she said, boo! And then ran away. Like, I don't mean to compare you to a rat, fishnet girl, but like, what else am I supposed to compare it to when you scurry away like that? And when you have a mullet, which I've rocked a mullet myself, but it's a rat-like haircut, let's be real. They scurried away, and I was like, wow, we were like surrounded by people. We were surrounded by people, some of them PSL people, right? Some of them in organizations whose leadership has condemned us in the past. We're surrounded by all these people getting along, having a great time, talking about communism, talking about Palestine. And then this fishnet fella goes boo and scurries away. And it's like, that's our haters right there. Those are the haters of the ACP. It's the people who wear fishnet to Palestine events and boo people who are fighting for a free Palestine. When it's supposed to be this big tent, event, it's supposed to be this event where, we're bringing people together who might have differences ideologically, but we're all united on one thing: our support for a free Palestine. And this is why, Hassan Piker was there. And this is why some people were asking, why didn't you confront him? Why didn't you call him out about his liberal Zionism? And now, don't get me wrong. If there was a Q&A session, me and Haas had questions prepared to ask Hassan Piker to push him from the left, right? To push him to be a more staunch supporter of the Palestinian resistance and to abandon the Democratic Party, which is ultra-Zionist, right? We were going to ask questions on that basis. But there was no Q&A session. It's like, what are we supposed to do? Confront Hassan at this event, make a scene, force the organizers who are volunteers that are there because they care about Palestine to intervene and break up a fight between some streamers? Like, that's not what the event was about, right? The event wasn't about canceling Hassan Piker. It was about bringing together people who are in agreement on the issue of Palestine. And, yes, of course, we went around to different tables and we made the Marxist-Leninist argument for Palestine. We went around to different tables. For example, there was a table promoting nonviolence, and we raised the issue of, well, doesn't there need to be armed resistance? Wasn't 1973 when Egypt gave the Israelis a bloody nose? Wasn't that the only time in history that the Israelis have given land back to the Arabs? Doesn't that show the necessity of armed resistance, right? But these conversations were had respectfully, and they were had cordially, and they were had with the shared interest of doing what's best for Palestine, right? So it wasn't the place to make a scene or to make it about ourselves. Did we use it to promote our party? Yes, but we didn't break any rules. For example, we were filming in there. You may have seen the video that we posted on the ACP main page about our experience there at this event. We were filming, and at one point, someone came up and said, if you're filming, you're supposed to have a press pass, right? You were supposed to have bought that earlier. And we're like, okay, so we stopped filming, and we started doing the interviews outside of the event. You'll notice that some of the interviews took place outside. That was after they asked us to stop filming without a press pass. You had to purchase a press pass. Right, we didn't make a scene. We didn't storm out. We didn't self-victimize ourselves because of this event, which, by the way, was not put on just by PSL. It was put on by like the Palestinian Youth Movement and some other, big tent Palestinian orgs. It wasn't just the Party for Socialism and Liberation. But there was this one guy, a ginger fella, outside of the event passing out his book about the Yemeni Houthis to anyone who would take it. Rumor has it that many of those books were found in the parking garage afterwards, just laying everywhere. And we all know who that person is, Caleb Maupin. I don't want to talk about Caleb that much, whatever. I don't want to make more beef than there has to be, but it's just kind of funny to me the way he handled this event. And Caleb's been really, really, really cruel to some people who I'm really, really close to. So, I don't feel that bad about saying this. But compare the way we handled this event to the way that he handled this event, right? I just explained to you how the American Communist Party members approached this event. Caleb was trying to push his book, and one of the volunteers came up to him and said, "Sir, you need to have bought a table beforehand." Right? There are all these people at the event who had paid for tables Just like people had to pay for press passes so that they could be selling their stuff inside. And they're like, you didn't buy a table. We don't want you pushing products on the people here, which is totally fair. And again, these organizers are volunteers who were there because they care about Palestine. All right, so Caleb makes a video saying he got kicked out of the event. Not only did he say he got kicked out of the event, but he criticizes the Palestinian people who were selling stuff there, the people who had tables, and says, you know, this event wasn't actually about liberating Palestine. It was all about selling these little trinkets and making money. And it's like, bro, what were you doing there? You were pushing your book. Like, you used the event as a chance to push your book. The only difference is that these people paid for a table. They sacrificed something to get one of these tables, and they followed all the rules. You didn't. Right? So it wasn't that you got expelled for being a rebel, that you got expelled for being, you know, too based. You got expelled because you broke the rules of the event that the organizers had put on the internet ahead of time. So he criticizes them, and then tries to make himself a victim out of it. And it's just so like, bro, you're not a victim. You're not a victim. You went to an event to push your book, to get yourself more clout, which was against the rules of the event, and they kicked you out. And then he's blaming PSL and stuff. And, you know, I feel a certain type of way about PSL, but it's like they weren't even the ones like who were the backbone of this event based on what people told me when I was there. And it's like, we're controversial figures too. We have rats and fishnet booing us inside the conference, right? But or one rat, not rats. But you know, we're not going to make ourselves the victims. We're going to follow the rules and do what we can to make our argument. So, you know, I don't want to spend too much time on that. That's just funny, right? That's just Caleb being Caleb. It's just funny. But it does, you know, raise the broader and more important question outside of these various internet personalities of how do communists and Marxist-Leninists approach events like this, where there are maybe people who don't agree with us on everything, who aren't communists, who aren't all the way there yet, but do have this common point of agreement in Palestine or, you know, whatever the event is for. You know, and I think the answer is to go, to be respectful, and to have conversations with people, follow the rules, and talk to people about Marxism, Leninism, and why you're a Marxist-Leninist and why your party is important, and why people should join if they want to accomplish whatever goal they're there to fight for. Right? If it would be different if this was a Zionism conference, right? If there was, you know, if enough people cared about Zionism to have a big Zionism conference, right? Then yeah, go sabotage, disrupt, freaking clog the toilet, drop an upper decker, you know, do whatever you can to disrupt that shit. If there was a Zionist conference, I would be there and I would upper decker every toilet. I would eat Taco Bell for a week and I wouldn't go to the bathroom once. And then I would walk into that Zionism conference and I would just destroy every toilet. I swear to God. Okay, but you can't do that at the Palestine conference. That's not what it's there for. That's not productive. That's not doing anything for anyone. It's a good analogy by me, okay? So we just have to you got to be tactical and strategic. You have to understand what kind of an event it is and what can you do that's productive. Right? And productive means advancing the struggle. It doesn't mean getting more popularity for yourself. Thank you, Namdigera. Namdigera, $20. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. Not rumor. I have photos of dozens of books lurking around in the shadows of the parking garage. LOL. I wonder if Caleb himself put the books there or if he gave those books to people and they abandoned them in the parking garage. You got to wonder. I think he put them there. He posted on YouTube, like, after they kicked him out, he's like, after they kicked us out, we distributed our books, which was all right, in every corner of the event. They're just putting stacks of his freaking Houthi book everywhere. Oh, Caleb. That guy. Okay. Zionist conference, isn't that just Congress? Yeah. Another funny part about this event was there were Zionist counter-protesters outside. You guys want to guess how many Zionist counter-protesters there were? There were two. They got two people there for their protest. And has anybody seen that guy on Instagram with the big Palestine truck? He's got the truck that says like boom, boom, Tel Aviv, F Israel. A guy stand with Palestine, and it's like completely decked out. You've probably seen him on Instagram. That guy was there. He had a shirt that said Rednecks for Palestine or whatever. And he was taunting the Zionists. He was disrupting the Zionists. If they had a toilet, he would have dropped an upper decker in it. He was like roasting them from across the street. Like, y'all got two people here for your counter protest. Good job. It was hilarious. That guy was pretty cool. He was trying to get Bilal Muhammad to sign his truck afterwards. I hope he did. They'll put me on the watch list after they see what I do to the big stall. Let me see if I can find this Palestine truck that was there. I took a picture of it because it was in the same parking garage as me. He popped up on my Instagram later. Where is this guy? Here he is. Hold on. This is the guy I met this weekend. Let me share my screen. Look at bro. Look at this dude. This is this man's truck.
So how many states you have visited?
42, 43 now.
43.
43.
Wow. Where are you from?
I'm from Texas.
Texas. You're going all the way back to Texas, all right?
No, I'm not going home until Palestine is free.
Wow.
Why should I be able to sit in my own comfortable home and be in my comfortable bed, and the Palestinians don't even have a home to go home to?
Very soon, inshallah, it will be free.
Inshallah, and I won't stop protesting until it is.
Inshallah.
I thought maybe this dude was a JQer too. Like, I'm like, okay, he's from the South. He's this passionate about Palestine. He's got to be JQ. But he's not. If you watch his videos, he's based as hell. He's talking about how Orthodox Jews are against Israel. He's talking about how Israel's the most anti-Semitic, entity on earth. He's making these good arguments that aren't rooted in the Jews control everything and the Jews bad, which is popular in the South. I just learned that recently. Not that recently, but, within the last 2 years. I didn't know that anti-Semitism, like legitimate anti-Semitism, was so prevalent in the South. But anyway, shout out to this guy. I'm super glad I got to meet him. He was such a sweet dude, just talking to everybody at the conference, having a great time in his truck.
Palestine, brother.
Really?
Yeah.
This puts the people from my rural ass hometown to shame. Okay, those guys love their trucks, but not as much.
Famous.
I'm very famous.
You're traveling the whole
This is
country.
the most famous truck in the movement right now.
Really?
Wallah.
Wow.
Absolutely the most famous truck in the movement. I don't know any other trucks in the movement. I don't know about you guys. I've never seen some shit like this in my life. I was mind blown. I was like, man, we really are going to see a revolution. That's how I felt when I saw this guy. Like, we really are going to get a revolution. Look how committed this guy is. He's not going home. He's not going back to Texas until Palestine is free. If we all had this guy's commitment, if we were all redneck truck guy, we would have had the revolution that we need already, okay? Everybody take some inspiration from my boy, please. What a hero. Okay, oh, it's performative, though. Shut up, okay? That guy's on like a no-fly list and a government watch list, and he got pulled over. He got pulled over before the convention for no reason, just because he was driving that truck. Does his truck have Hamas decals on it? Yes, okay. Does it have the red triangle decal on it and say boom, boom, Tel Aviv? Yes, okay. But we have the goddamn First Amendment. You cannot arrest my boy for saying boom, boom, Tel Aviv. That's his God-given, American-given right. No rights are God-given. Every right has to be fought for. Okay, let's be Marxist. Let's be materialist here. Let's not go just because I'm speaking with a Southern accent. Welcome back to the great state of Iowa. Thank you, Iowa, which in Iowa City just voted to boycott Israeli products. So Iowa City is very lib and activist heavy, you know, not like a heavy ACP presence, unfortunately. But still, very, very cool to see where the consciousness is at with these universities and with the kids these days. And you know, it's just really, it really makes me proud to be from Iowa, even though it's Iowa City, which is not where I'm from, and I'm in a much more industrial / rural area than what Iowa City is. I guess Iowa City you could call industrial. But I'm in a more conservative area is what I'm saying. Iowa City is like the blue hub of the red state. But either way, it's still awesome to see that and makes me proud to be an Iowan, even though maybe it wouldn't happen in my area. Because a lot of people think that Iowa is just this like conservative, red, backwards hick state, you know, where we just like chew on corn and, you know, poop our overalls every night and drink Busch Light, which is true, okay? But also we stand for Palestine. So shout out to Iowa City for that. Puts the sticker on my bicycle to shame. I know, right? I have like, I'm decked out in so many stickers, my iPad, my laptop, but I'm like, I never thought to do that with my car, with my minivan. So RBN is live. Damn, didn't know Midwestern Marx was live. Hit the like. Oh, dang. Thank you, Zoya. Appreciate it. Yeah, make sure when you guys are done here, pop into RBN and like their stream. Eddie, you're welcome to join when you're done. Catch you on the replay. For sure. Thank you, Zoya. Yeah, maybe I will. For sure. Thank you. Yeah, well, I need to share the streaming schedule with the RBN guys. Like Haas and I, obviously. We share our stream schedules with each other so that we can try to not overlap. Maybe we should loop RBN in on that as well. Make like a shared calendar. Because it's even with Haas, at least he's on Kick, you know. But RBN and us are pulling from the exact same audience, so that would be why my views are a little bit low. Merge the streams, we could. That'd be fun. That would actually be really fun. I don't have that much more to talk about. We could. You must watch one stream on your phone and the other on your TV. I wonder what the RBN guys are talking about today. Trump meltdown. Oh, they're next with DDG. Nice. Yeah, I'll join if they want to have me. I don't want to intrude, but I'll definitely hop on. Might as well. The views are a little low here, which is definitely because people are watching RBN. But I don't want to intrude. RBN is Revolutionary Blackout Network. They're our homies. Hang on, give me a sec, dude. Sweet. While she's doing that, guys, I'm starting to think this ACP thing was based all along. 68 likes. I got this TikTok comment this week. Look at that, baby. We're making ground. All the reputational damage that our haters have done is being undone through one day at a time of hard work. We're grinding. This was on the ACP main TikTok that I've been posting on recently. It's a little extra work to do another TikTok account, but it's definitely worth it. The worst part is I got to wear a suit. I've been wearing suits for all my videos, so that's tough. But are you back on TikTok? I am at Midwestern Marx. We're back up to we're almost at 340K again. I might break my record for TikTok followers. My original account was 375K before I got banned. And knock on wood, please, Lord Jesus, do not ban me. But I'm very close to surpassing that again, which would be a huge milestone for me. Suck it, Zio Nazis. You got me taken down once. You got me taken down 6 times. But I'm back. And I'm bigger than ever. Don't jinx it. Yeah, we'll try not to. We'll try not to. I don't know why. I wish Bilal would have taken down Jack Della. I don't know why he thought he could strike with him. I think I have to get back on TikTok and resub based. Yeah, do it. I wish he would. I think it was too hard. I think Jack Della's takedown defense was too good because Bilal attempted like 9 takedowns, and Jack had a really low stance, so he was able to down block with his head. It was actually really nice on his part. But yeah, that's what he needed was a takedown. Can't keep the Liger down. You're damn right. I will rise like a phoenix every time they ban me. Nick is down. Should I send you a StreamYard link? Absolutely. Yeah, send it on. Send it to my Twitter if you don't mind, the Liger Twitter. That would be the easiest because I have that open right now. All right, guys, we're merging the streams. You have to go to Revolutionary Blackout Network. Oh, everyone's following me on TikTok now. Nice. Let's go. Thank you, guys. You have to go to Revolutionary Blackout Network, RBN on YouTube. I'm going to be live with them and DD Geopolitics because there's no point in overlapping the streams. So let me make sure I follow Zoya so she can send me a message. I think I do. Yeah. Go do RBN. I'm already there. Nice. Let's go. All right, guys. I'm going to shut down this stream, and we'll see you over at RBN. Peace.